Hey guys, Jose here bringing you another video. Welcome back to another patch note breakdown. We're doing patch 9.18. So this is the penultimate patch before Worlds. So the Worlds will be on patch 9.19. And they probably will do some changes on patch 9.19, but they're not going to do anything crazy because we're about, what, a month away from Worlds, I want to say, ish. The teams need to start preparing the strategies now. So yeah, they're not going to do nothing crazy. So you've got some new skins, we'll look at them later. So first, champion change, and just say we've got champion change, video accessibility options, and bug fixes. So not a very big patch, but considering the scroll wheel over here to the right, over here, there must be quite a lot of champion changes. So, yeah. Okay, so, Aatrox. Passive now heals for less against minions. Q damage to minions reduced and flattened. Okay, so they are nerfing Aatrox again. So, mainly due to his healing, I guess, and his Q wave clear. So, wow, that's actually a big nerf to his Q. The heal used to be heals for bonus damage dealt to anything. It's now heals for 25%. Thank you much, Supper Panda. Appreciate it, dude. It's now heals for 25% of the damage dealt when stabbing a minion. Healing versus other targets changed. Okay, so we're nerfing his sustain and wave clear at the late laning phase points, around 7 to 11. So maybe it'll be fine later, etc. And then Q, it used to do 50 to 100%, depending what level you are. It's now doing a flat 40% of all damage, or 40% of damage to minions at all ranks. So that's a nerf to his wave clear using Q. To be honest, it didn't really feel like Aatrox's big thing was the wave clear that made him annoying. It was really, it's the healing, and well, his damage is pretty high, so I'm not sure if that's going to do everything that Riot's intending, but whatever, that's okay. So potential, more Akali nerfs. Again, she's definitely, throughout the years of League, there's always been a champion that the community sometimes 100% agrees with getting nerfed, and, well, it's a divide. Akali, I'm fine with her getting nerfed, and what I've always explained is, it sounds a bit weird me saying it, because I never want to come across rude, but there's been people who, you know, I'm not a big fan of Ashinshin, but I know he's also moaned about Akali, and people go, oh, he's only moaning about Akali, blah, 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 she's not that bad. Here's the difference of League and why she's getting nerfs. These nerfs and why Akali's a problem is because the higher rating you go, the bigger problem Akali gets. So in Gold, where most of you probably play, or Silver, she's probably not that big of a deal. And a lot of you going, well, why is she, you know, with a 45% win rate, why are they still nerfing her? She's not that bad. But when you get to Diamond 1, Master, Grandmaster, Challenger, that's when she becomes a problem. And again, we've said for years, League is a top-down game. You can't have something broken in Pro Play or Challenger solo queue or Master, whatever, because that's just not a healthy experience. So that's the issue. So in your games, Akali might not be a problem, but in the games of the content creators you're watching that moan about Akali, it's because she is a problem. In the hands of a good player, she's basically unbeatable in 1v1s and stuff like that. Like, you won't kill her. So that's an issue. So they have removed, so it's all with her ultimate. They have removed her stun, which I am more than happy with. Why did she even have a stun? They're also nerfing the damage. So the same ability power ratio, so that's okay. But then the flat damage is also going down in the early game of rank 1. And then it basically gets a slight buff at rank 2. Oh no, it's a slight nerf still. So it's a nerf equal. So it's still the same damage. Thanks so much, 10. Oh, thanks, Aaron. God damn it. It's the same damage until ranks. It's a nerfed until rank 16, basically. And then also cooldown. It's a 40-second nerf at rank 1. It's a 20-second nerf at rank 2, and it's the same at rank 3. So the only difference at rank 16 is the stun is gone. But before that point, she's been nerfed quite hard. But again, I'm fine with it. The cards you go up against in High Diamond are just annoying. That's the point. It's just not fun to play with or against. It's just blah. Annie. Okay, so when I saw that they were buffing Annie, and I even think AnnieBot might have piped up on Twitter going, why are you buffing Annie? It's a bit weird. Annie is actually in a pretty good place right now. Again, a perfect example of it. I've said it, you know, a couple times before. Twitch Rivals. Very high quality tournament Twitch Rivals. In EU West, the average rating's probably Master. I'd imagine it's similar in North America. Annie won mid lane. You know, when each role has to have a winner, AnnieBot won mid And everyone knew, oh, that guy's going to pick Annie every game. So everyone knew that they could counterpick it, and I'm sure they did. He still came out on top. So that just shows Annie's not weak. You know, that's the crazy thing. So they are now doing the E, which is the Molten Shield, grants decaying movement speed. Damage reduction has been decreased, however, but the cooldown has also been increased. So they're giving it utility and taking away tankiness, basically. So she gains 25% base movement speed whenever activating E, plus 1.5 per level with a decaying bonus movement speed over 1.5 second duration. So yeah, so she's going to be zoomies, you know, they're going to give her that, which I guess, you know, activate your E and then run in really quick for Tibbers, maybe, but usually good Annie players either just go on positioning or they're relying on their flash, so it's not necessarily just walking up. And they're taking away of tankiness by quite a bit. So, you know, Annies that are used to having pretty good damage reduction, which I imagine a lot of people didn't even know that E gave damage reduction. But yes, it gave 16% damage reduction at rank 1, up to 40%. It is now 10% at rank 1 and 22%, nearly a 50% nerf to the damage reduction component of the E. So that's a bit weird. So she's going to be squishier. And the cooldown has also gone from 10 seconds at all ranks to 15 seconds at all ranks, obviously because it's a movement speed ability now. I'm not incredibly convinced I like that change, because like I mentioned, movement speed is not the thing that made a good Annie player get a good Tibbers off. It was either their positioning or they did a flash play. It was very rarely an Annie could just walk their way up and just go Tibbers. Even with movement speed, that's going to be quite hard to actually do. So I'm not convinced I like that change. Again, I'm not the expert of Annie. I'd like to know what AnnieBot thinks of that, because obviously he's the dude that you want to know about Annie. Aurelion Sol, base health increased, so they're just buffing his base health by a pretty decent amount, which will help him, because again, why are they doing that? Well, now his playstyle is more like into somebody, a little bit more bursty, not as much like, well, again, I've still seen people do the old Riley build, which I don't think is very good, but if you're doing the correct build nowadays, you don't have that utility, so you need to be a bit tankier to pull it off. So that's what they're doing there. Caitlyn, base attack damage increase, so they're giving her 2 base AD. And again, remember, a lot of people go, that's nothing. Again, it doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're in lane phase and say you get 10 auto attacks off, that 2 extra AD, let's just say, again, League's weird, 2 extra AD doesn't mean 2 extra damage. 2 extra AD could give you 6 extra damage in an auto attack, roughly. If you get 10 auto attacks in, that's mean you're doing 60 more damage to an enemy champion. That's 60 extra damage over a period of time. That could actually make up a kill. That's the way that you've got to think with these little buffs. So it's actually not bad at all. Echo, kind of weirdly a forgotten champion, but you just don't see them. W cost decreased as stun duration increased. So the cost used to be 50 at rank 1, it's now 30, and it used to be 70 at rank 5, it's now 50, so over a 20 mana buff, so it's cheaper, that's nice. Stun duration as well has gone up by 0.5 of a second, that's considerable, an extra 0.5 of a second buff with then also costing less. That's pretty good Echo buffs. So I imagine, again, these are the type of buffs that I don't think is going to make Echo meta. I don't think it's going to make people go, oh, I'm going to play Echo now. This is a buff if you're already an Echo player. You're like, hell yeah, just straight buffs. Cool. That's about that. So it's cool though. Evelynn. A slightly problematic champion, I'd say. Like, it's weird that sometimes she can kind of pop off and just take over the game. There's not much you can do about it, because obviously the stealth capabilities with the execute and one shot and everything. So the R empowered damage amplifier and max empowered damage is being increased. Okay, so they're buffing Evelynn. So as I was just saying, her damage can be problematic, and what is Riot doing? Oh, they're buffing the ultimate damage. Okay, cool. So the empowered damage amplifier used to be 100% against enemies below 30% of their maximum health. It's now, oh my god, 140% execute of enemies below 30%. So they're giving it, oh my god, they're buffing the damage of the ultimate, the damage amplifier by 40% of the execute. Okay, they really want Evelynn to kill things if they're low health. Also, it used to be 250, 500, 750 base. It's now 300, 600, 900 base with a 1.8 ratio? Holy Jesus Christ. Play Evelynn, everybody, before it gets hotfixed. What is this? So it does not, just to make that clear, it does 900 damage base. Again, just base damage. Nothing has been put in yet. It then has a 1.8 ability ratio. So what that means, if you have 300 ability power on Evelyn, which I'd say 300 for late game is pretty reasonable. You know, she doesn't get crazy ability power numbers. I got a hair. 300 I'd say is quite reasonable. So you do 300, and what is 1.8 of 300 in the ratio? Well, then you're getting, because it's over 1, that's an extra 300 damage, and then 0.8 is what, probably about 260. So that is an extra 560 damage roughly on top of the 900. So then you're suddenly saying that's going to be 1,360 or whatever. Yeah, and then, so that's how much damage it's doing, and that is not an execute. So it's doing 1,300 roughly damage just straight up. Then, if you manage to get people in execute, if they're below 30%, then it's doing an extra 140% damage to make sure they're dead. This thing's going to do over 2,000 damage in late game to people that are below 30%. And even if they're not below 30%, even if they're at 50% health, it will still probably do like 1,500 damage. That's insane. Oh my god. Okay, cool. Oh wait, okay, oh yeah, Twitch chat. See, this is good. Okay, never mind. So this empowered damage, okay, phew, we just worked it out. In this empowered damage of what it does is only for the execute. But still, that's kind of crazy. Like that still means if a tank is on 29% health and they've still got 1,500 health with all the resistances, yeah, you're still one-shotting that thing with your ultimate. With nothing else. No EQ, just your ultimate, dead. So, yeah, that's a big... That is what? I'd probably call that's League's biggest execute. It has to be. I guess, obviously, Pyke, because it's 100% execute, or Urgot. But, like, for a raw damage execute, that's the biggest in the game. Jesus Christ. Jhin. Base attack damage increased. Okay, Jhin buffs. So again, they're giving 2 extra AD like they did Caitlyn. Again, same story. It's just going to help him in lane phase. A little bit extra damage here and there. That is always a good thing. Kai'Sa, to me... Oh my god, they're only nerfing one thing? Ooh, okay. So E, bonus attack damage decreased later. So yes, they're getting rid of 10... Nope, they're getting rid of 20% bonus attack speed from your E at late game. The problem with Kai'Sa is she has too much stuff. Name a champion that has insane damage output that is hybrid, AD and AP. It has poke. She's got her W. She's got an invisibility. She's got a speed up. She's got a teleport. She's got a shield. She's got wave clear. She's probably got something else. Name me another champion that has that much stuff and then is also a hyper carry. That's too much stuff. Like, take away the invisibility. An AD carry doesn't need it if they're not... They're the only AD carries that need invisibility is if their whole kit goes after their invisibility aspect. Twitch is a great example of that. He is invisibility. He sneaks up and goes rat-tat-tat-tat. Kai'Sa's not supposed to do that. Oh, yeah, and also her passive that does 1,000,000 damage too. Like, you've got too much stuff. Take away some of the stuff, or this champion will always be a problem. Anyway, Kayle. So obviously they did the changes to Kayle, and we feel good about the changes, so they're happy with it, which I do say is good. But when I played Kayle, yes, her lane phase felt better, but her late game might have felt a bit too weak. But anyway, what are they doing? E-based passive damage increase. So they are going from... So E-based damage is going from... It was 10, ramped up to 30 at maximum rank. It's now going 15 to 35. Remember, with the attack speed build that you give Kayle, or all the attack speed that you get on Kayle, it doesn't seem like a lot of damage. These are low damage numbers, but because you auto attack so quick, that does ramp up quite a lot. And yeah, I have no idea why they took the eyes away from Kayle. You know, if you do look into kind of the lore, the bad, you know, the two sisters, Kayle and Morgana, the evil one is actually Kayle, not Morgana. However, you know, they look different, but yeah, maybe they're doing that. Maybe they're making her look more evil because that is the evil one. Anyway, Lee Sin. Base health and attack damage increase. My boy's getting buffs. Okay, cool. I actually wanted to play more Lee Sin. Base health and attack damage increased. Our damage increased. Oh my god, they're buffing Lee Sin for Worlds. Oh, it's happening. So they're giving him roughly 5 more health, where it's like 4.2. They're giving him... Is that 69? I think they're only giving him 0.8 more attack damage just to round everything off. And then his ult is going up by 25. So... When we say buffs, Yeah, they're just rounding buffs that aren't really going to make a massive impact. But I'll take them, you know, I'll take them. Misfortune, E slow increased early. So it does seem what they're looking to do, because again, yes, we've had a 1 Kai'Sa nerf, but everything else, AD carry buff, AD carry buff, AD carry buff. Maybe what they're looking to do is not nerf Kai'Sa, because she is clearly probably the best AD carry at the moment by quite a fair margin. Maybe they're just looking to try and bring the other AD carries to her level, at least in lane phase, possibly. Again, I don't think you're even going to be able to do that if you don't take away some things from Kai'Sa, but whatever. So the E slow increased early. So yeah, they're increasing it by a considerable amount. So the slow used to be 28% in rank 1. It's now 40. And again, it's the same late game, but it's just helping her early lane phase. So hit the E on them, and you might, because of the slow buff now, instead of just getting 1 auto attack while they're running out of your E, you might be able to get 2. Or you put the E, then you ultimate, yeah, you might be able to ult a little bit more. Like, that's the thing. So that's fine. That's a nice little buff there. Alright, so Nunu and Willump. See, he's been a bit problematic recently. I haven't come across many of them in my games, but I know he's been very much used in really high rating solo queue, but I haven't seen him personally. Base stats decreased, slow now scale. So they are nerfing his health growth, his armor growth. Oh, yep. Mana has been nerfed, and mana. So all of these base stats have been nerfed. And then the snowball. The slow used to be a flat 50%, is now 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So by rank 5, it's what it used to be, but it's much weaker in the early game. So there you go. Teemo. They're doing some Teemo stuff, okay. Q and W quality of life changes are mushroom adjustments with more charges and infinite bounce. Okay. Q, blinding dart. Blinded targets will now see a green light around their screen when they're affected by Teemo's Qs. So that's a buff if you're against Teemo. So when you exactly know when you can start attacking again and time your abilities. So that's actually a nerf to Teemo. Because before, someone might have used an ability not knowing they were still blinded. Well, now you can just see the green light, and when it goes, you instantly know you can start attacking him. So that's actually a nerf to Teemo. Okay. W, move quick. Move quick's ability icon will now have a bar above it that shows the duration. Okay. And then ultimate, which I guess is the bigger change, is mushrooms will now trigger more responsively, especially on enemies dashing through them quickly. So like a Yasuo or something can't dash through one. Riot Scuttler no longer triggers mushrooms when it's not in combat, so you can put them all in the river, and you know the crab won't ruin your day. Mushrooms can now bounce infinitely off each other. Okay, so because then the next buff is, instead of having only 3 mushrooms you can bank per rank, you can have 3 at ranks, at level 6. You can have 4 at rank level 11, and then you can have 5 mushrooms at level 16, rank 3. So in theory, you could just stay still and bounce 5 mushrooms off, or 4 mushrooms off the first one, and have a really long line of mushrooms and be relatively safe. Again, this isn't going to do anything for Teemo. I actually think this is a really big nerf for him, though. Like, letting the opponent know exactly when they're not blinded anymore by a big light that's like, oh, when that goes out, you can start hitting him. I think that's a big nerf to Teemo, but, whatever. Warwick, W now properly grants bonus attack speed against blood-hunted enemies, so I guess that was a bug fix. There we go. Xayah, so I'm presuming base armor decrease, that's a nerf. R cooldown increase, so these are nerfs. So again, I guess, yeah, Kai'Sa, Xayah has been dominant, so they're nerfing Kai'Sa. Well, the funny thing that I want to point out, Xayah's getting more nerfs than Kai'Sa. That doesn't sound right, but anyway. So, yeah, we're getting a 3 armor nerf to Xayah, and then also her ultimate 20 seconds nerf at rank 1, and 20 seconds nerf at rank 3. So, yeah. Someone's saying, doesn't it say you're blinded above your health bar? Yeah, there'll be a debuff, but it's less obvious. Your whole screen going green and disappearing, you instantly know. And you don't have to be focusing on like a little icon type of thing. So it's, yeah. Right, Zoe. Passive damage increased. Why are they buffing Zoe? Okay. Vixie will be happy. Zoe's early lane phase is weaker than intended right now. What the hell do you mean? Again, this is where sometimes I question, do the balance team even play the game? So we're propping that up without increasing her one-shot burst. Right. So they're buffing it by 6. Roughly. So a rank 1, it's a 6 damage buff. Rank 2, it's an 8 damage buff. And then an 8 damage, then an 8 damage, then an 8. So, yeah, Twitch chat might have got that one right. It might be a Worlds buff that they want to see Zoe do one-shots in Worlds. Again, there are problems with Zoe. Again, she kind of has the same thing with Kai'Sa, that arguably the champion's got too much stuff going on. Yeah, this could very well be, you know, would a crowd absolutely love seeing a Zoe from half the screen, teleport, boom, one-shot, an AD carry that's really famous? Probably. That's probably a Worlds buff, if we're honest, but obviously it affects solo queue too, but questionable. Video accessibility options. A few new options are now available under video in the in-game settings for players who need them. These options can be vital in making their game experience more comfortable or even possible. So I guess this is for people that get that, is it epilepsy maybe? Enable screen shake on by default, so you can turn screen shake off, which is like when Ezreal's pulse rocket ultimate goes off, or Ornn's ultimate, your whole screen shakes. You can turn that off now, which is nice. And you also can put visual sliders, allowing players to control the color level, gamma, brightness, and contrast of the game. Okay, that's actually pretty cool. So again, sometimes colors could affect people badly, I guess, so that's a nice thing there. And then there's all bug fixes, which I don't really care about looking individually. We've got the new skins that, you know, we'll get them when they get like officially released. I don't know if they're already out yet, and there we go. Also, just to mention, the league partner is a Zoe one this time. I'll probably be getting them in the next couple days, but I will be giving them out. Pretty sure I'm going to try and give all of them out in the stream on Friday. Oh, Jeebus makes a very good point. Oh no! Remember the balance team has come out and said we don't buff champions when new skins come out. Buff. Hello. Hello. Okay, well, there we go. But anyway, that's going to be the patch 9.18. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Again, we are one patch away from Worlds, and I don't imagine they'll be doing anything too crazy before Worlds. If anything, they'll be balancing what they've done balance in this game, in this patch, possibly. But yeah, there we go. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, throw a like on the video. Let me know what you agree with, what you disagree with, what you think is missing, if anything. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and peace.